Welcome, everybody, to episode number 2 of Car Convos. Tonight, I've got my buddy Matt here, and he is here to talk with us about his 2006 Cummins. Matt, welcome to Car Convos.
Hey guys, how's it going? How you doing?
Good to have you. All right, so without further ado, man, tell us a little bit about your 2006 Ram 2500.
All right, well it's a 2006 Ram 2500 quad cab SLT. It's got the 5.9 Cummins in it, straight six, and
Right.
6 in a row, ready to tow.
All right, there you go. So let me I'll pull up a picture of it here real quick. All right, so there it is. So tell us a little bit about the mods you've got on it, because obviously we can see there's quite a bit done to it. And now I have a few different pictures that you sent me, but this just happens to be the first one that I pulled up here. And I don't know if there were more recent things. I think the wheels are new, right? But kind of tell us a little bit about the stuff you've done to it.
Yeah, so I've done the starting with the wheels. Those wheels are 20-inch hostile sprocket wheels, and it's sitting on Toyo all-terrains, mud terrains actually, 37s. So they're like 12 and a half 37s. So
Those are big, right? I mean,
it's a 37-inch tall tire, so they're not, it's not small by any means.
no, I mean 37s. I mean that's like the big boy size, right? Anything lower than that, it's just like.
Well, you see lifted trucks with 33s, you're like, 35s is when you start getting the normal big trucks. At 37s, you're a good sized tire, and then it goes up from there. But
Anything more than that, it's kind of, you got to start modifying a lot of stuff when you go above 37, right?
well, yeah, when you go anything above 37, you have to go to like immense amounts of lift. Really,
Okay,
you're at like a 12-inch lift instead of like, because that's just an 8-inch lift on that.
just
Yeah,
just
that's
an
an
8 inch.
8-inch. Yeah, it's 8-inch. It's coil springs, all the way around. It's not too bad, and it's only blocks in the rear, so it's nothing too fancy.
Okay, so let me ask you. So the lift. So did you do the lift, or did the truck come lifted?
I actually did buy the truck already lifted.
Okay, so you bought the truck already lifted. Okay, so you haven't had to
I didn't have
modify.
to, no, I didn't have to do the lift. The lift was the only thing that I didn't mess with.
Okay, so let's actually back up before you even get to the mods. When did you buy it? How many years ago did you buy it? How many miles were on it when you bought it? Let's start with that.
All right, well, I bought the truck in July of 2015.
Okay, so you got 5
And
years. Okay,
so I've had it for 5 years, and I bought it with 130,000 miles, 135,000 miles on it.
135,000. So you've put, let's say, 80,000 on it, something like that.
Yeah, because I'm at 211,000 on it now.
That's a big number, man. That's really impressive. So okay, so you put about 80,000 miles on it. You've had it for 5 years. Okay, so that's awesome. All right, so let's go back to because I think people really need to kind of hear that of like, oh, it's got 200,000 miles on. Oh, what did you buy it? 20,000 miles ago. So you've put a good amount of miles on it, which is which is important to know. So you have had some time with it to experience issues and things like that. But we'll get to that in a minute. So go ahead with any other mods that you've had done to it.
All right, well, I've also done a 4-inch exhaust, MBRP exhaust, all the way from turbo back, and I also have done a Mads Smarty Junior tuner, which adds about 100 horse to it.
Whew,
So
okay, all right.
so I'm sitting about like 450 right now, 450 horsepower, and around 1,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Seriously, that's some crazy stuff. Have you? I don't know if we've talked about that. Have you taken it down the drag strip at all?
No, I haven't taken this thing down the drag
No.
strip. I probably could. I go to the drag strip all the time now, but it's mostly either on a motorcycle or with other people. So
Gotcha. Man, I'd be really interested.
I'd be close to guessing probably like 14s.
14s? Okay.
Yeah, like
What did
13, 14, somewhere around there.
you said 1,000 foot pounds. 1,000 foot pounds and what horsepower do you think around?
It's about 450.
450. Yeah. That's
Well,
it's nuts.
it's a decent amount of power. The issue is the thing weighs at 11,000 pounds.
Does it weigh that much?
No, well, I mean, probably fully loaded. It's actually the gross vehicle weight is like 7,500, I think.
Okay. I was gonna say 11,000. I mean, okay, maybe with the suspension, obviously the tires weigh a lot. You got
Yeah,
the tractor
I mean,
supply in the back, right?
there's yeah, toolbox. That thing's slapped full of
The
tools. Like,
Yeti's always back there. That's another 300
yeah,
pounds.
yeah. There's no shortage of weight tacked onto that, and subwoofers and stuff like that adding into the weight too.
Hey man,
And
that adds traction, right?
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. It's all wheel. I mean, 4-wheel drive. You shift it into gear and you'll launch, but you might break something too.
Yeah, every time I've ever gone to the Bradenton Motor Speedway, I've broken something. Well, both times were on a 2005 V6 Mustang. I mean, so my spirit was broken one time by people making fun of me, and then the other time I beat my buddy Alex in his Crown Vic.
I remember
right.
that.
But
I'll
I think
absolutely remember that.
I think I blew some. I don't know if it was that time I blew something up, but anyway, back to your truck here. I think that would be very interesting to see it go down the drag strip. But have you just kind of, from stoplight to stoplight? I mean, have you ever raced
Oh
anybody?
yeah, I smoke people.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
I bet. Well, figure with racing and the smoke
literally.
itself.
Yes, it will do both. That thing, it dumps smoke too. With the high performance tune on it, it'll
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
if people get in my way that shouldn't be there, they know afterwards.
Yeah, I can see that definitely. All right, so that's cool. So, any other mods other than what looks like a legal tint?
Yeah, it's got very illegal tint. It's like 5% all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it in there at all.
It's like 5%. I mean, I got let's see what else is. I mean, of course, I've done a head unit and all new speakers and Memphis door speakers, and then I have two 10-inch subwoofers under the rear seat.
Nice. That's sweet, man. It definitely looks the part, and yeah, it looks awesome. So let's see. Here's another picture. I love America there. That's awesome. What do you remember what was being worked on in this picture? Just changing the oil?
Yeah, actually, I had to replace. I had to do wheel bearings.
Okay, so that leads us on to our next topic is reliability. So I guess that's something that went bad, I guess.
Yeah, the wheel bearings went bad. See, if that truck was stock, I don't think I would have had that issue. But twisting, turning 37-inch tall tires, your wheel bearings are eventually going to go. But I will say, for a part, they were really cheap to replace them. I think it was $63 for a wheel bearing.
For one?
For one, yeah.
Okay.
But it also comes with a brand new ABS wheel speed sensors.
Okay.
And it's actually a whole new hub assembly. You don't have to pack the bearings or anything like that.
Really? That is actually fairly cheap. It sounds like it. I've never had to replace them, but it sounds like pretty inexpensive.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. And then of course, obviously, what I was doing, I did a tire rotation while I was there.
So on the tires, back to the tires. So you have 37s on there. The guy before you had it lifted 8 inches. Did he also have 37s, or did he have smaller tires?
He had 35s.
Okay, so
He had Nitto mud grappler, 35-inch Nitto mud grapplers on there.
So he had so it's a little bit smaller of a tire.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to do a little bit of clearancing, a little cutting, and a little banging away to get those 37s to clear while at full lock.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So you had wheel bearings. It looks like you had a tranny blew at some point, transmission.
Yeah, my tranny at about like 165 or 160,000. My tranny decided to pull a Dodge and didn't want to work anymore.
So tell me about that story. Where did it happen? How did it happen? Is this just a big bang you just heard, or just?
No, it was at a stoplight. I think I was driving back from work. It was at a stoplight, and you go to press the gas, and you start going. You're going fine, and then all of a sudden you want to shift to second, and it don't want to shift to second. And,
Okay.
So it just goes and revs right up, and then you can't get it to shift to second, so you blew it.
So you're at a stoplight. It's in first. It won't go to second. I mean, I'm imagining you've got the column shifter. Can't you just put it in second?
Yes, it didn't seem to want to care.
Okay. I'm sure you tried that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, oh well, and actually, I was able to accelerate and then back off of the transmission and let go of the gas, and it did get it to shift a second.
Okay. So, okay, got it. So you're just like, oh God, this is the end. The transmission's gone. So how did that happen? So you got, I guess, a tow truck brought you to a shop, or?
Oh no, I limped that bitch all the way back to my house. Yeah,
Okay.
no, I
All
wasn't
right.
paying for that. No. And
Okay.
if it was, I would have got someone to flat tow me. No, I wasn't paying for that. And
Okay.
then when I did take it to the shop, finally, I did drive it and I limped it back.
You you drove it there. Okay.
I drove it, got it to shift to second, and then after that, I got it to shift to third and fourth, and then made it all the way to the place, drop it off.
Okay.
And but then I had it built so that way I could handle a little bit more horsepower if I ever did throw.
Okay.
So I think I had it built for about like 750 horsepower if I wanted to throw that at it.
Nice. Okay. Now, so I've heard several different things about transmissions and changing transmission oil, and like there's a point where you should change it, but then once you go past that, you shouldn't change it because if you put new fluid in there, it will start slipping or something like that. So what was your service interval in your did you ever change the transmission fluid before it blew?
It was changed at 70, and they tell you to change it every 70,000 miles.
Is that
so?
Okay? That's standard.
At least that's what someone told me. I guess I don't
Okay.
know. Don't quote me on that one.
And you blew it at 165.
Yeah, I didn't quite make it. All the way. So, but I will say, so going into buying that truck, they're known. The automatics are known for transmission issues.
Okay.
Some can get 300,000 miles out of them. Some can do 50. It really depends on how hard you use it and what you do to it.
If you've got 37s, and you're towing all the time.
Towing and add an extra 100 horsepower to it, it ain't going to last as long as it probably should.
Right. No, absolutely. Okay. So that was probably a big ticket item, I'm assuming. Cost wise, $5,000.
$5,000. I spent $5,000 having it built.
Okay.
I mean, I did billet intermediate and output shafts, just to be able to handle the power.
Okay. And is that installed or is that just the parts?
Yeah, that was installed.
Okay. Well, I mean, and okay,
I also did oil coolers too, or trans cooler, because there was so much metal flake in it that they weren't reusable.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. All right. And then I was actually reading online, and I feel like this is like kind of a common thread with HD trucks is this death wobble. Did you have the death wobble, or because
so I'm telling it's not a new truck by any means, and so it's mechanical driven steering.
Okay.
It's never been great. I'll just say.
Okay. All right. So play is a common thing.
Yeah, play is a common thing. It's a common thing because I got a friend that's got a 7.3 and he's got an 01.73 and he has just about the same amount of play as me.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, there are some upgrades you can do, upgraded steering boxes, and I have a dampener on my steering to alleviate some of that issue.
Okay.
But you got to spend some money to take care of it completely. And you're probably not going to get away from it all the way.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, my dad has a 2000 7.3 4x4 Excursion, and that has I think 180 something thousand miles on it. I mean, and you can go about 20%, and it doesn't do it. you're just doing this the whole time just to keep it.
You're back and forth. It's probably about there is where I get some turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and again, my dad's isn't lifted. It's on stock size tires. So, I mean, I would imagine with bigger tires and a lift, it just gets progressively worse.
And it's funny because, I drive a dump truck for work every once in a while. And that thing's got better steering than my truck. Hands down.
Well, it's newer, right? I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's a 2000, I think, 10. But there's no play in the steering wheel. So, I mean, I go from driving my dump truck to go driving an actual dump truck, and It's a
Yeah.
lot better steering.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay. So other than those things, other than those, I mean, those are kind of big, I guess, big things. So what did you have to do to the steering? You have to
So the
replace
steering,
something?
yeah, I did a dampener, and then I also did a power steering box. So I did a whole new steering box put into it
And how
because
much is
it.
that typically?
I think that was like $300.
That's not bad. Okay.
Well, for the really good one at the time, because I was young, cheap guy. I couldn't afford the
You were
eight hundred
young.
dollar the $800 steering box.
True.
At the time.
Yeah, I know.
Like, 800 versus 300. That's a hard jump to make when you're like a 20-something-year-old kid.
Yeah, we all cut corners in our 20s. I replaced my alternator. I bought it off of Amazon for like $150, and I replaced it in my college dorm parking lot on my Mustang. And I will say I was like so proud of myself for doing that. I was like, hell yeah, this is amazing. I felt like such a man when you fix stuff yourself. But okay, so other than those two kind of big things, anything else? I mean, 211,000 miles. That's a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
any small things that have brought like power, like seat adjustments or headlight issues? I don't know, just other things.
So, the only thing else is AC. So
Oh, okay.
my AC blend door
Oh, those damn things.
motor broke. So the transition between
Yep.
outside and inside. And so that was shot, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I still haven't even replaced it
Well,
because
you have to take the whole dash apart, right?
yes, you do. You have to pull the whole dash, and
Freaking pain.
it's gonna be it'll be a couple-day project, and I just haven't done it yet. I've
It's
just
not
been putting
cheap.
it off.
Yeah.
Because the AC works. The AC works. It blows cold. It just takes a little bit of time.
So, okay, so what is it stuck on? Is it stuck in the circulation one, or is it stuck in from the
Outside.
outside? Outside.
Yeah.
Ah, dang.
I know. If it was the inside one, I would never mess
I would
with
never,
it.
I'd never mess with it. I just
Yeah.
leave it alone. Oh, I thought, because there's, I guess there's a couple different blend doors. Like there's one for circulation inside and then drawing air, outside air, and then you also have like the one for the face and the feet and the defroster.
Yes.
I mean, that one that's worse, right? If it's stuck on your feet, I mean,
Well, so it is stuck, but
Oh, no.
it does defroster, and
Okay.
it does regular face air.
Face,
So,
okay.
but it doesn't do feet. It's stuck. It won't transition down to feet. So,
Who
like I
needs
said,
feet?
the AC and the heat both work,
Okay.
and it goes to defrost and then to regular face. So it hasn't been enough that I haven't cared enough to actually pull the trigger and just do it.
Yeah, I mean AC is very important, obviously.
Well, if you're living in Florida, AC is a big thing.
Yeah, it's very, yeah, and it's one of those things. Like some brands just have really big problems with ACs. Like my parents have both had Hondas, and both of their AC compressors went out under 100,000 miles.
Oh,
And like
geez.
you'd think a Honda would, I mean, everything would be perfect. I mean, mechanically, the engine, transmission, everything's great, but that AC on a Honda Odyssey and an Accord, they both went out around like 80 something thousand miles. So, but that's cool. All right, so AC, it works. It's fine. I mean,
It works. It works. Yeah.
it's cold. That's all that matters, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's cool. So what about kind of just your overall likes of the truck? Like why do you love it? What
So I look at that truck, and I can't walk away from that thing without looking back and going, "That's a good looking truck." Yeah. Some of these newer trucks just,
it is a good looking truck.
some of these newer trucks just don't do it for me. It looks like a classic body line, them wide tires sitting out right. It really looks good to me. It's just the style that I like. I like a good sized truck. But also I know everyone gives people crap about the tow mirrors, but I enjoy the look of the tow mirrors out. You get your driving performance visually is just so much better.
Oh yeah,
with the mirrors flipped up than it is otherwise. But
absolutely. I mean, and I think the tow mirrors are great because those ones you can flip them, right? So they're out like this, but you flip them
yes,
this way, so you can. Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it's an HD truck. It's a heavy duty truck. It should have big, big bold tow mirrors. I think that's cool. Honestly, I kind of think a truck that's got small tow mirrors is kind of, I don't know, girly. It's
Well, yeah, it's a little wimpy. You can't see nothing out of it.
wimpy. There you go.
That's
Exactly, wimpy.
yeah. When I back into a spot, I can see everything with those mirrors, and that's the best thing about it because I don't have a backup camera on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
So.
you got a shin splitter hitch all the time, right?
Oh yeah, that thing will. But that hitch gets some use out of it. So
Oh, absolutely. Okay. So you like the look of it. I mean,
I love
what
I
else?
love the look of it. It also I love honestly the fuel mileage that I
Yeah,
get out of it.
talk about that.
So the best I've ever done, I'll just say on average I get about 18, 19 miles per gallon.
That's amazing.
As that truck sits right now on 37s on
That's
average.
yeah.
Yeah. And let me tell you, and then pulling, well, I'll just do a short pulling or towing, it maybe drops down to 16, 17.
Sure.
It does not care what's behind it. But the best I've ever gotten is doing about 50 miles an hour. I'm doing 50. I've gotten 29 miles per gallon out of it.
Who does? Oh, so you're that guy on the highway. 50. What are you doing 50 on the highway?
Oh no, on the highway I'm doing 80. I'm doing
okay. I got you.
50 is like on a 45.
All right. You bad
30,
man. You bad man. 5 over.
Yeah, getting 30 miles to the gallon. I'll take it.
That's incredible. I mean, no new truck can do that. I mean, I feel like now the diesels, they're so complicated and they're trying to put so much power in them that they're actually getting less efficient and less reliable, I think. I mean, what do you think?
Well, honestly, the big thing is all the additives that after I think 2009 they made all diesel trucks get DEF fluid.
Yeah.
And the diesel exhaust fluid. And honestly, the best thing you can do to that diesel truck is pull that off.
Yeah.
Because you will get better fuel economy. It won't be legal because,
yeah.
But you will get better fuel economy and your truck will run better.
So I'm pretty sure isn't that illegal? It is illegal now, isn't it? The delete.
The DPF delete is illegal. Thankfully in Florida we don't have inspections, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, well, yeah, the amount of guys driving around without cats, I mean, in Florida versus other states, I mean, you just simply could not do that in other states. So
oh yeah, I don't have a cat in that truck.
Well, there you go.
I used to have it was turboed back. It was the turbo exhaust was a straight pipe back, so it was a 4-inch straight pipe all the way back. And
that's massive. That is a massive exhaust. I mean, you could fit. I mean, obviously, you could stick probably like 2 fists in there. I mean, I don't even freaking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good size, and it's loud. It's not quiet by any means. It literally sounds like a dump truck driving down the road.
Yeah, I mean that's well, hey, you know, I think that's cool personally, but okay, so you like the way it looks, you like the way it's drive. Well, I don't know if you said like the way it drives, but
oh no, I love that truck, and the way it's you hit that gas and you hear the turbo spool up and you get a little giddy and you're like, yep, that's right.
Yeah, fuel economy. Okay, so what don't you like? I mean, so it sounds like you're pretty obsessed with the truck, but what about things that you don't like?
So, I mean, I think having maybe I have a cloth interior on it. I don't have leather or something like that. And as a guy that goes out on the water a lot, you know, I go out in the boat a fair bit. So not having leather seats kind of sucks. You got to watch out if you sit on it or if you have to put a rain jacket down or if you need seat protectors or stuff like that. So
Sure.
So I'm a little conscious.
That's small though. That's nothing too bad. Okay, so seats, anything else?
So it's a 4-door.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a quad cab, and I will say the back seats aren't the largest. I mean, it's got plenty of room to. I've probably towed I've had 7 people in that truck before.
Yeah.
But it's before they went to the very large cabs.
Yeah. The what do they call it? What Dodge calls it, the mega cab, right?
Yeah, well, you can get that truck in a mega cab.
That's right.
It adds another like 6 inches, I think, behind the seat.
Yeah.
So it actually, I don't, at the time, I think it was the only one that did this, but you could actually lay the rear seats flat
Okay.
in the mega cab.
Yeah. Wow. So it's almost like a bed.
Yeah, that's what it's designed to be able to fold it flat to be a bed.
Yeah,
And
for overnight sleeping, right?
Yeah.
For camping.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
But yeah, but I mean that's the regular, that at the time that was the regular sized 4-door with the short bed.
And okay, I was just gonna ask. That's the short bed. So obviously on that one, obviously they offer the 6.5. Do they offer the 8 with that cab configuration?
Yes, they offer the 8 on that cab. Yeah.
Okay. With the mega cab, they don't.
No.
Not the 8. The 6.5.
No. Yeah, or it might be a 6-foot bed, I think.
Okay, 6. Okay.
It's a little shorter, but
Gotcha.
It might be a 6.5. I'm not positive, but yeah, it does. I think it is a 6.5. It doesn't get. They didn't put from factory the 8-foot bed on the mega cab.
Okay. Right. Yeah, because that would be just insanely long.
Yeah, you're driving a limo at that point.
Yeah. U-turns. Yeah, there's no U-turns. Well, you just hop the curb, right?
Yeah, you're pretty much.
Yeah, the curb doesn't matter with that. So when you pull this guy in next to a Ford and a Chevy, is there some type of unspoken rivalry, or is that just something that people hear about? Like, Ford people hate Dodge people, Dodge people hate Ford people, and Chevy.
Oh no! All anyone ever does is talk trash to each other. It doesn't matter which one you have. You have to talk shit to both people about each one, because every one of them has issues.
Of course.
No one's built a truck to end all be all. Just hasn't really happened yet.
No. No,
so,
not even the Tundra.
No, well, the Tundra doesn't make a diesel in America.
Yeah.
So, for the U.S. market, but so the Dodge, the big issues with Dodges are the transmissions.
Yep.
So they always had an issue was the transmissions, and then the Chevys have a problem with tie rods, and since they're IFS or independent front suspension, they the wheels just toe in if they break. Or toe out, so they get a little wonky. And those have been known to do that. And then Fords, let's just say it took them a while to figure out a Power Stroke motor. That they had a great one in the 7.3, but then they went to the 6.0 and then the 6.4, and they're finding their way at the 6.7. But they were having some issues from 2003 to 2010.
Oh yeah, let's just downsize the motor and turn the boost way up. That'll be more reliable, right?
Yeah, no, it won't blow head studs and also head gaskets and everything up. But so I mean, all of them have their faults and all of them have their pluses.
Sure.
And so I mean, all we do is talk trash to other diesel guys. But
of course,
at the end of the day, we're not driving a gas truck, so you're infinitely better than them anyway.
Oh man, I mean, my brother just got a Power Wagon with a 6.4 in it.
I see those are good looking trucks, and I love that the fact that they come stock with a hidden winch.
Yeah.
I love them.
It's a sweet truck, but it's gas though. It's gas though.
Good looking, but I can't imagine the fuel mileage on that. With
12.
a 6.4 liter V8. I mean, at 12.
12.
That's surprising.
I mean, it's stock, but
well, I mean, even still, I'm shocked that it's that good. I would have figured it would be less.
He's not driving a Class A motorhome with the V10 Ford in it. I mean, those get like 6.
Yeah. Well, I had an old Dodge Ram that was a single cab on 35s, and it was single cab short bed with a 4.7 V8, and I was lucky to get 11.
So that's what you had. So that's what you had before this one, right?
Yeah, that was the truck I had before this one.
And what year was that?
It was the 2004.
2004. So why'd you trade that to this?
Well, I really wanted a 4-door.
Okay.
Something because that was a single cab. That was the high school truck that I bought in high school, and toting me around. So I really wanted to be able to put my friends in the back and
For sure.
road trip or, go wherever. And so that was a big factor. And then also I had been looking for a nice four-wheel drive diesel for a long time. And then I finally pulled the trigger, and that's what I got.
I mean, man, it really sounds like kind of like the perfect vehicle. I mean, you can tow a lot. It gets great gas mileage. I mean, you can pretty much roll over anything. I mean, would you ever see yourself? I mean, so just to kind of wrap it up. So we know you tow. You tow. What's the most you ever towed with it? I mean, have you towed boats with it?
Yeah, I tow both boats with it. So I tow my flats boat pretty much every weekend, at least one day a weekend. I'm probably out on that boat. And then I got some friends that have larger boats that have one. I have a friend that has 2 race boats,
Okay.
and I tow them every once in a while for him. And
Okay.
I
Any
think
idea about the weight on those? I mean, like the most you
I
ever
mean,
towed?
probably close to 10,000 pounds is the most
Okay.
that I've towed
Okay.
on it. I mean, I've done fully enclosed trailers, slap full of stuff,
Yeah.
and that truck or that car, so that car that I just towed on it, and that trailer is all cast iron steel trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, that weighed more than the car that's sitting on it, and
Jeez.
so that actually was taken about a month after I bought the truck.
Oh, okay.
So that I bought that truck, and then my friend Josh, you've met Josh, but
Yep.
he was like, "Hey, you want to go to Tennessee and swap that car out for a pickup truck?" And I was like, "All right."
Sure.
So we
It's an
hopped in that
adventure.
truck, towed that car all the way up to Tennessee, and swapped it, and came back with a pickup truck.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I feel because I'm actually in the market for a pickup truck, and I'm just I don't think I need an HD. I mean, eventually I want to get like a 24, 25-foot center console, right? That weighs 7,000 pounds with gas, 9,000 pounds. So you're kind of right at the limit of what you want to be towing with a half ton.
Yes.
But then when you go to an HD, a 2500, then either you're doing the gas, which typically get, 12, 13, or
If
you
you're
pay 10 grand more for the diesel, but the diesels aren't even necessarily more. I mean, they're more efficient, but not like literally your truck gets better gas mileage than any new diesel. I'm almost 100% positive.
you can, and if you new diesels, if you program them, do all the deletes and do that stuff, you can get really good fuel mileage out of them. The problem is all the limitations and restrictions, and also you don't want to. You buy a 80,000. Say you bought an $80,000 truck,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna go pull off your DEF, your DPF, and delete everything, and then lose all your warranties.
Bye bye. Bye bye warranty. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm looking for something like 30 grand, Matt. What do I buy?
Well, so I get in a discussion about trucks all the time.
Of course.
And
That's why I asked you.
yeah, so I've decided. So I love the look of the Toyota Tacoma, right? And
Yes.
I like the Colorados, and I love the new Jeep Gladiator, right? I like the midsize truck, but the midsize truck doesn't serve a purpose.
You're 100% correct.
The only purpose of that truck is so you can park it next to another car in a 2-car garage, and that's about it. Because like you look at the Ranger, the new Ford Ranger, it's smaller than the F-150. It's smaller. It can tow less. You can't put nearly as many people on it, and it actually gets worse fuel economy.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, because it's a steel body. The new F-150s are aluminum.
Yep.
So the weight difference is not very much.
Yep.
So with the F-150 versus the Ranger, you get better fuel economy. You get well, I will say now that the Ranger, you did get the new EcoBoost. They finally put the EcoBoost motor into it.
Yeah.
So I think that one probably gets better fuel economy, but even still, so you can tow more with the F-150. You get just about the same amount of gas mileage, and you can fit more people in it, and it's more roomy, luxurious, and everything like
Yeah.
that. And it's like the same price as getting a Ranger. So what's the purpose of getting the Ranger?
No.
Unless you
Yeah.
need something small to get into stuff, and then, or, park it somewhere, get around town. Or if you're not going to use it that much as a truck, if you're going to throw something in the bed and just keep something in the bed, then it's fine. But if you want to tow, you got to step up and get get the F-150 or
To
the,
me, there's no real point to getting a truck unless it can tow. Because
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna get a mid-sized truck, it doesn't even have that much room necessarily in the back. You might as well just get an SUV or a 4Runner or something. It tows about the same, and you have more enclosed, lockable space. Obviously, you can get a cap for it. But so F-150. I know we're talking about Dodge. We're almost done here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the 5.0 because EcoBoosts, they just seem to have so many issues.
I personally, if I was to get one, I'd get one with the 5.0 because the 5.0s last. I got plenty of friends that have the 5.0 and have not had any issues. And I mean, they run the reliable. If you're going to go the F-150 route,
Right.
Also, I mean, I will say Chevy. I do like the new Colorados because of the diesel option.
Yep.
You get that little Duramax,
But it's
and that
mid-size
little
though.
Duramax, can tow more than the regular,
Right.
little Tacoma or the Ranger or something like that.
Okay. So I guess that kind of transitions us to the last segment here. So we have 3 questions to wrap up. So the thing you like the most about your truck, the thing you hate the most about your truck, and then what's going to be your next vehicle?
Okay, so the thing I like most about my truck would have to be the I just love how it
It's
looks.
hard, I know.
I absolutely love how that thing looks. I park it next to something cool or in a cool backdrop or the sunset's going, and I just probably like 100 photos on my phone, just truck pics. Uh, I
Absolutely.
mean, the thing every time I wash the truck, I look at it and go, man, that thing looks good.
Heck yeah.
Thing I hate the most about the truck is probably uh, I'd have to say the most annoying thing is probably the steering.
Okay.
So, I mean, you got to pay attention when you're driving it. If it'll track. Like
Of
if you're
course.
driving through a pretty rutted road, it'll find the ruts and want to ride in the ruts.
Yeah.
So I mean that's probably the most annoying. And about now, I could probably alleviate most of that issue. I just by spending the money and spending the time. And
Right.
I mean I have the money now to do it. It hasn't broke yet, and until something breaks, when it breaks, then you upgrade.
Yep, absolutely. That's
Uh,
pretty I mean, that's not nitpicky, but I mean, that's going to be there with any lifted vehicle.
oh, I agree. And like I
So,
say, I don't have any aspirations to selling that truck for the time being. I will say though, the next truck I want to buy, there's 2 that I've been talking about that I wanted to get. So the
okay.
next one would be like a 2020 or 2021, the newer Dodge Rams, because I love the look of those things,
Yeah.
and it would definitely have a Cummins. I'm after having a diesel and having a gas before and having a diesel now, I'm diesel for life now. The positives outweigh the bad in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, I'd time and time again. So the new 2500 diesel Cummins, I would get. I love the look of those trucks. They just look so good, beefy again. They got that really rugged look. Like
Yeah.
looks like a, you know.
You're a
And then,
Mopar guy. I couldn't tell.
well, see, I love GM. If I was gonna go buy a gas truck, I'd go get a GM. So I get a Sierra or
The six
Silverado
two.
with 6.2.
Of course.
I absolutely love that motor. I love LS. If I'm getting a gas truck, it's getting an LS. If it's getting a diesel, it's getting a Cummins.
There you
Uh,
go.
it just Cummins is the way to go. There's a reason that there's a something called a Fummins and a Chummins. You take a Ford and you put a Cummins in it. You take a Chevy and you put a Cummins in it. You don't take a Chevy, you don't take a Duramax and you don't put it in a Dodge. It's just not done. Um,
I've never
so
heard that one.
yeah, you don't take a Ford, you don't take a Power Stroke and you put it in a Dodge. You just don't do it. But you'll take that Cummins and you'll put it in a Ford and a Chevy.
Awesome, man. Last bonus question. Last question. What would you say has been the proudest moment owning the truck. Like, heck yeah, that's my truck. Towing someone out of something, or whatever
Well,
the case might be.
like I say, I've taken that off road a few times. I haven't messed with it too much just because I don't want to break it, because
Right.
it's my daily,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I've done that before, and I've off roaded my daily, and that's always fun having to fix it on at Sunday night at like 3 a.m. So you gotta
Yeah.
get to work the next day. So that's always fun.
Of course.
So I don't do it too hard, but I love pulling someone out is always a great feeling. But towing, usually when I'm towing a boat, like there's a couple of the photos I might have sent you was towing a race boat,
Yeah.
and we put it in the race boat, and then we ripped them around to test them, and then after that we pulled the boat out, and I had to pull the boat out of the boat ramp, and I had to take a photo of it. They just look so good,
That's
When it's got something in tow, it doesn't care either.
yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's 500 pounds behind it or 15, like 10,000 pounds behind it. It
Yep.
gets about the same fuel mileage. It does not care. It might drop like 2 miles per gallon, and that's about it. It doesn't care. And that's probably what I love about it too. The truck does what it's supposed to do, and that's it.
Heck yeah, man. You couldn't ask for anything more than that. It's sounds like a dream truck. And when I asked you what you're getting next, you were very slow to respond, which means that, you thought about it a little bit, but not really. You really
Yeah,
like your
well,
truck
no,
still.
like
So
I've thought about it, but I've also thought about I want a 2020 truck in about 5 to 7 years. Like I want,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
like I'm not expecting to buy a truck new. And also, like I will say, I didn't mention the other truck that I was talking about buying. So I love the look of the new Gladiators too. Absolutely love that truck. But the only way I'd buy one is if it had the diesel option in it.
There's a lot of compromises with that.
And so realistically, that's just the fun play toy more or
Yeah.
less that I think
Yeah.
about. Realistically, the next truck I'm gonna get is the newer Dodge 2500.
Yeah.
They look so good driving down the road, but also I'm not a guy that's gonna go buy one new just because I
Yeah.
don't want to take that first hit
No.
momentarily. I just can't do it. I can't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But so that's why I said probably 5 to 7 years. I'll probably go get one of those trucks, so that way it's a few years old, all the kinks are worked out, and I can get it for a little bit better of a deal.
Sure. Well, all the best of luck to you with it, man. It's an awesome truck. I personally have ridden in it, and the last comment that I remember hearing is my wife sitting in the front seat and just saying, "This is so cool." She's like, "It's so high." I remember hearing that. So I'll definitely have to get a lifted truck at some point. But
I recommend it. I love it.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Matt. I really appreciate you being on the show. And I will definitely have to talk soon.
Definitely. It was great talking to you, Scott.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Take it easy, Matt.
See ya.